Bordeaux are in serious trouble after failing to secure a license to play in Ligue 2. Yeah. Could Fenway Sports Group be riding into the rescue?
I mean, they've been relegated to the third division, as you said. Gérard Lopez.
But not on the pitch.
No, on the pitch. No, like by the French.
Because they don't have the requirements.
Yeah, French financial fair play. They need, I think, something like 40 million in their bank account or something like that. And they're looking actively for somebody who would either come in and put money in or just buy the club outright from Gérard Lopez, our friend. And they're hoping that maybe FSG could be that group. It doesn't sound too credible, to be honest, but why not? I mean, if FSG want to go into multi-club ownership and things like that, obviously they own Liverpool.
Which is not something that they've really shown much of an appetite for.
That's why I'm a bit skeptical about it. They have 12 days today, Bordeaux, to find that kind of money and an investor.
It's 14 million, you said.
40. I think it is 40 they need.
You need that much in bank guarantees?
Yeah. So Lopez last summer, to keep the club in the second division, put 60 of his own money. So he says. I don't know. This whole thing is such a massive club and it's such a sad situation for all their fans. Ciro Immobile is reportedly close to joining Besiktas. Gab, are you excited?
Ciro Immobile.
Why would be excited?
I am.
Why?
I'm so excited. He's one of the greatest ever scorers for Lazio.
You know what happens when he goes abroad, yeah? He's been abroad before. He's been to other leagues before, and what happened?
He hasn't been to Turkey. He's been to Borussia Dortmund, and he's been to Sevilla.
And what happens?
Hasn't worked out.
Oh, okay.
Well, are you saying he's like the doctor in that crappy Star Trek spin-off, the one who can only exist as a hologram? There was a Star Trek Discovery or something where he's like the hologram in the one with the female captain.
No, I was just letting people know.
No, he'll be good. The Turkish league is going to be good. Come on, Galatasaray, Besiktas, and Jose Mourinho. Come on.
Fenerbahce,
Mason Greenwood's future remains in doubt. It looked like he was heading to Marseille. But now it appears Lazio are back in the mix, Jules. They can take all that money they were paying Immobile and pay Greenwood instead.
Yeah, true. We had an agreement between United and Marseille over £25 million, something like that, for Greenwood.
Plus 50% of the resale, I think.
Yeah. Roberto Zerbi, the new Marseille manager, saying like he's world class. I don't know what happened in his private life. This is not my problem, my business.
Why does he say? Why does? I love Roberto De Zerbi, but he has serious communication problems. We called him out last year for saying those stupid things at Brighton, which soured things.
Yeah.
What, are you tone deaf? I think. I don't know about what happened in the private life. I was like his son.
He said,
you do know what happened.
Yeah,
you do know what happened. We all know what happened. It's all documented.
I'll tell you who knows what happened. Is the mayor of Marseille, Benoît Payan, who had some really strong words about Mason Greenwood and said, I don't want him in this club. I don't want him in Marseille. You know, he hit his wife. Some of the things he went all in on I'm going to ask Marseille not to sign him, not to recruit him. I don't know if that could have an impact or not. But there's clearly a lot of people in France and in Marseille who think that he should not come to Marseille.
Yeah, look, I don't. I've said this before, but I think it's worth sort of repeating here. What makes this case different is that the charges were ultimately dropped.
Yeah.
But we never had closure, right?
Yeah.
We never had an admission that something happened, but also we didn't have a trial which said nothing happened, no crime has been committed. So this is going to forever leave Greenwood in this limbo. And look, part of me is a tiny part of sympathy because he can't come out and admit what happened because he could then face charges again.
Yeah.
So, but it's all out there.
Yeah.
And the reality is there will be some clubs, many clubs, whose fan base aren't going to be comfortable with this. And true. I think that has to be respected as well. And funnily enough, as I mentioned, Lazio saying like, oh, look, well, if you can't go to Marseille, come here. So, of course, because Claudio Lotito's cut from a different cloth.
Amanda Stavely and Medad Goudussi are selling their remaining stake in Newcastle. Gab, what impact will this have?
Zero. I mean, So Amanda Stavely got so much attention. It seemed as if she had bought the club and was running the club and everything. But the reality is, unlike the Rubin brothers, who I think have a 10% stake, and obviously unlike the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, Amanda Stavely and Medad Goudussi are not billionaires. They do not have the kind of liquidity that the other owners have.
They're not billionaires.
It's rich is a relative term. No, so what happened is they were already diluted when before when everybody put more equity in, and they were going to be diluted again. They're selling 6%. I don't know. Who would want to buy 6% in Newcastle?
Maybe you start with 6 and then you can increase it later. I don't
Well,
know.
you're gonna get the money off the public investment fund?
No, I don't
drive
know,
them
but
out.
maybe
No, I think most
If
likely they're going to sell their stake to the public
To
investment fund
Okay.
and to and to the Rubin brothers if they're interested,
Yeah.
and go back. That's the most logical thing. I don't think a big investor is going to come in to own 6%
for that.
in
Yeah,
something that he
6,
can't control.
yes, maybe you're right. It's not enough.
Another twist in the Al Ittihad tale, Jules, after Stefano Pioli and our pal Christophe Galtier.
That's it, yeah.
Now it seems as if Laurent Blanc
Oh,
is the chosen one.
it is.
A lot of careful and methodical planning going on here, I
Absolutely.
see.
Absolutely. I mean, he'd been in Qatar before, obviously, before coming back to France and get the Lyon job. We know how that went.
Similar part of the world.
Yeah, terribly. At Lyon, he was sacked a year in the job over 2 seasons.
By John Textor, who we haven't mentioned yet in the show.
Here you go, JT. This one is for you. Good luck to him at Al Ittihad. And Karim Benzema, who obviously he had with him when he was the France head coach all those years, 2010 to 2012.
Do they like each other?
I don't think they mind each other. They haven't worked with each other for a long time. I don't think they even have seen each other for a very long time. So we see. The only problem I have about this is that Laurent Blanc is not a really good coach. So not sure why you would choose him anyway. The London Evening Standard reports that Arsenal have banned some 20,000 club members and 54 season ticket holders, Gab.
Yeah, so the story apparently has to do with the fact that they've been found to have scalped their tickets. So in other words, there's obviously high demand. Arsenal effectively sell out every game, but sometimes what happens is people or season ticket holders will sell their tickets. Now, some clubs are fine with this. I think Arsenal are okay with it if you do it via a certain ticket exchanges to the club. What they don't want is, and this is what happens, I don't want to say ticket prices to watch the Premier League are not expensive, because to a lot of people they are. Certainly relative to US sporting events, they're not. And so even if you're paying, say, £1,000 for an Arsenal season ticket, if it's Arsenal Manchester United, hey, I can make that money back. I'd sell it to a couple Norwegians or who come into town.
Yeah, for sure.
I always use Norwegians because they're kind of like the Qatar of Europe.
Yeah, okay.
So the club don't want that. They don't want people profiting off that. It does seem like 20,000 club members does seem like
It seems
a
like
ton.
a lot. Yeah.
The other thing that was interesting, they've canceled 24 season ticket holders. I knew United were doing this. I didn't know Arsenal were doing this too, but apparently you have to show up. If you own a season ticket, you have to show up to a certain percentage of the team's games. Apparently last year it was 17 of the 22 home games that Arsenal played, I guess including cup competitions.
Yeah.
I'm not super comfortable with that. I kind of feel that, because apparently they don't want to have empty seats.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel that if you sell me a season ticket, if I pay you money,
You can do whatever you want with it, yeah.
I can do whatever I want. I can put a stuffed animal there if I want.
Then I guess
to.
you've got a very long waiting list of people that maybe would go to every single game, and we do.
Not really my problem. If
Yeah,
you sell
true.
If you sell me a ticket, you sell me a ticket.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the policy. This is their club. They can put whatever restrictions they want on it.
Sure.
Craig Bellamy is a new Wales
Go
manager.
on, Craig.
Jules, you're practically Welsh.
I am.
Is this a good
indeed.
choice?
I really hope so. Well, we don't know, because all he's been is an assistant to Vincent Kompany, both in Anderlecht and then at Burnley. From the people I know who know him well, some who did their coaching badges with him, by the way, he's really good at what he does. We know the character and the temperament and the feistiness in a way. I'm sure he would have mellowed a bit now that he's a coach, and now he's a different approach than when he was a player. So I'm waiting to see. There's a good young generation there. The golden generation, if we can call it like everybody calls it like that, of Ramsey and Bale, etc., is fading away. Thank you. But the new generation is quite exciting. So good luck to him. Yeah, I think he's a good coach.
Yeah, it's funny with Craig Bellamy because, with all the tattoos and everything when he was young, he did some things which he probably regrets. And he had this reputation. I'll never forget. It was after the Champions League final in Athens.
Oh yeah, 07?
And, in 07, yeah. And we went by the Liverpool team hotel afterwards to say hi to some people and stuff. And it was super late. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And as we were arriving, Bellamy's leaving with these 4 dudes who I guess are his friends from back home in Cardiff or wherever he's from.
Cardiff is, yeah. Cardiff
And he's like, yeah, we're going to go out to have a few drinks and whatever. I'm like, dude, you just lost a Champions League final, right? Like, it just seems so incongruous. But then I know people who know him really well, maybe some of the same people you do, people who've worked with him.
Yeah.
And he is somebody who is genuinely curious about the world. He's somebody who's got a really sharp intellect. And
he's a smart guy.
you look past the stereotypes, look past the fact that he's small, and he can be. No, you joke about this. Not many.
Would you look past? He's small, and so be it.
Okay, the vast majority of successful
Oh
managers.
my God. Right. Next one. A ton of reports out there link Karim ADEYEMI to Chelsea, but he reportedly only wants Champions League football, so this is not going to happen, right?
No, I put this in here because this is so stupid. Look, I'm not going to put anything beyond the Bowl League Bali sphere.
Yeah.
However, if there is one role that Chelsea do not need, it is yet another freaking winger, right? When you've got Madueke and you have Mudryk and you have Palmer and you have Raheem Sterling and you have whatever. On top of that, they do not need this winger because this winger is not good. Karim ADEYEMI may be really fast. He may have really big hair.
He's super fast.
He went like 9 months without scoring.
Yeah,
he had a couple of good games in the Champions League run, but that's it. On top of that, the dude says, I want Champions League football. Chelsea don't have Champions League football.
No, that's true.
How does this story get at? I would love to know the genesis of some of these stories.
Yeah, I know, me too.
And look,
I think we both know. It's just made up, right?
Okay.
Somebody
I
made it up.
don't know. Donny van de Beek has finally left the building, Jules. He's off to Girona, and his farewell message to United fans was really sweet. I thought.
It was sweet because he didn't really have to do it, considering he was never really a Manchester United player, right? We agree on that? All I ever saw him was warming up at Old Trafford by the touchline. He's a great warm-up guy. He warms up so well. He knows all the moves to get warm up. He was great at it. You could tell that he had a lot of experience in warming up. Is there a worse transfer in the last, 20 years in the Champions for a big club and a big player? He was a big player. He was a Champions League finalist, starter for Ajax, starter for the Dutch national
Frank
team.
LeBeuf would say Mikhailo Mudryk, but that's another issue. Anthony, there's a couple.
Anthony at least played, and Mudryk played. The guy never played.
So
I want him
obviously
to do well at Girona.
he suffered a couple really bad injuries.
Yeah.
But he's also had periods of fitness when he's been back, and his form really, really dropped. And I don't think
massively.
it's, because the injuries made him gimpy or whatever. It's very sad. It
is super sad.
I'll go back, I'll hold my head up and say, sometimes we go back things we said in the past where we were wrong. Yeah. But that tremendous Ajax side, and by the way, can we show some love for the guy who managed that tremendous Ajax side?
Yeah, who is it? What has he been doing now?
It's the other Dutch guy. That's Erik ten Hag. I always thought in that midfield, man, Van de Beek has the bigger future relative to
I
De
thought it was a
Jong.
good signing for United.
I thought Van de
I'm
Beek
sure
was better. It was going to be better than De Jong. And obviously got that one wrong. I hope he can do something.
Yeah, Girona could be a good place for him. Bild report that Thomas Müller will soon announce his retirement from international football. What do you think?
131 appearances, 45 goals. Everybody will celebrate him, I think, when he retires. I mean,
one World Cup.
It's not much of a stretch. He's not going to be here in 2026. It's clearly his contract with Bayern will be over by then. Put it this way: if Germany have to call him back for 2026, then there's serious problems, right?
That's true.
I just want to spend a word on Muller because I can think of few players. Look, I'm not going to say his ability was limited, but relative to what he achieved,
for sure,
his ability is undoubtedly
technically certainly. Yeah.
His technical ability, and it's not just the fact. He looks. People have said, no, he just looks clumsy because he's tall. I'm like, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is tall too. He does not look clumsy. Joshua Zirkzee is tall too. He does not look clumsy.
Not at all.
No. He looks weird and uncoordinated when he moves.
Yeah.
But you look at his scoring record, and I think the thing with him is two things which set him apart. One is his athleticism. I can think of very, very few players who've had that athleticism.
Yeah.
And the other one is obviously his intelligence.
Yeah, for sure.
Which has a multiplier effect on his athleticism. Honestly, he's the kind of person like they should take his brain afterwards once he's left us and study it, because he's been a phenomenal footballer, and I think also a phenomenal leader.
Yeah, for sure.
For Bayern, and and respect to a guy who says, look, my time is up. The time now belongs to Füllkrug. No, just kidding. The time now belongs to other people.
Yeah.
Maybe not Füllkrug.